Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this day 14 of our Power BI session. And this is a special one because today I'm going to discuss all the DAX functions with you all. What are the different categories of DAX function and how we can use them in Power BI to enhance our visuals, to enhance our reporting, and to create some customized charts, reports, and all these things. So now I'm sharing my screen and I will first walk you through the various functions and then we will see some of the workings of some of the functions in the Power BI application. So I hope my screen is visible now. You can see my PDF, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now this is the list of functions that I've created. So I have given them the different categories also. So the most commonly used functions are aggregation functions. Okay, so when we want to count or we want to take a total, we want to use maximum, minimum, we want to use some filters inside the sum function. So these are the basically most commonly used functions for aggregate. So first is the approximated distinct count, returns a estimated count of unique values in a column. Now, if you remember when we started our Power BI class, we had done Power Query also, and we went and uploaded the data into transformation form in the Power Query. So Power Query has the option of uh, column profile. And in the column profile, we are able to see how many distinct values are there, how many unique values are there, how many rows are there which are having some errors and all. So that was inbuilt feature of Power Query. But if we directly load the data into Power BI, then also we can see use this, and we will be able to get the unique values or distinct values or something like that. We can find out average, count, distinct count, max, min, product, some x. Now this can be used in a column also. This can be used in a measure also. Okay, so I'll be showing some of the ways in which we can use the functions as a measure or as a column. Yes. So when to do
ये
what?
सेवन नंबर प्रोडक्ट है रिटर्न द प्रोडक्ट ऑफ ए नंबर इन ए कॉलम क्या मतलब प्रोडक्ट का मतलब क्या हुआ
प्रोडक्ट का मतलब मल्टीप्लिकेशन सर. It will,
मल्टीप्लिकेशन
yeah, multiplication. So it will return
मल्टीप्लाई
the
विद
multi, like you have to give two column reference. Let's say we have
ओके
units and we have quantity. We have quantity and we have
ओके
amount. So if you
अमाउंट
want to find out the sales, we can specify that these are the two columns. You want to have a total of that or a multiplication of that, and that will give us that
ओके
multiplication. Okay,
ओके ओके
right. So this is the use. Okay, now let me just open the Power BI also. Have I shared the HR dashboard with you? Did we do that? HR analytical dashboard? We had done already,
हाँ
right?
हाँ वी हैव ऑलरेडी
I think we started with that only. Yes. Okay.
वो टाटा रिफैक्टरीज का था
नहीं, HR एनालिटिकल डैशबोर्ड, हाउ मेनी, वो आइट्रेशन वाला हमने किया था ना, हाउ मेनी पीपल लेफ्ट एंड ऑल दीज थिंग्स.
हाँ 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 जी
करेक्ट. हाँ.
हाँ जी वो टाटा रिफैक्टरीज का ही था क्या वो
नहीं नहीं सर, टाटा.
वो टाटा रिफैक्टरी
नहीं नहीं, वो तो
हाँ
अलग,
आप
तो
उड़ीसा
अलग
में
था.
गए थे
हाँ, वो तो मैं वहाँ गया था, राइट. लेकिन जो मैंने डेटा
हाँ,
सेट दिया था आपको, वो तो HR का एक डमी डेटा था, जो जिससे
अच्छा
हमने
अच्छा
पावर बीआई
हाँ
स्टार्ट किया
अच्छा,
था. राइट. एंड देन वी
अच्छा
डिड
हाँ
द
हो
ब्लिंक
गया
लेवल.
है।
देन वी आर डूइंग एडवेंचर वर्क्स. इस सीक्वेंस में भी
हाँ,
वो.
करेक्ट।
एडवेंचर वर्क्स
Yeah. So now I'm sharing my screen and we are working on the same project that we started, Adventure Works. Usme we will try to apply these. First, let me walk you through the other functions also. This is the aggregate functions, okay? Then second category of functions are date and time functions, which is also called as a time intelligence functions. Or whenever we do analysis, we have to create a lot of time sensitive reports like what is the sales year to or year basis, or year to quarter basis, or YTD, year to date basis, or month on month basis, or half yearly or quarterly, whatever. So in that case, all these formulas are very useful, like calendar, auto calendar, date, dative, date value, date, date, year, month, network days, now, time, today, and they are similar to Excel also. So when we create a calendar, returns a table with a single column name date containing continuous set of dates. Suppose you want to create a calendar for January 25, okay, in Power BI, and your data doesn't have any calendar, but you want to have a column, new column with dates. So we can use the calendar function. Similarly, calendar auto returns a table with a single column name date containing continuous set of dates calculated automatically. So calendar auto will automatically calculate the dates like that. Then date will create a date to dated if will calculate the difference between two dates. Suppose we have order date and delivery date, and you want to find out what is the difference between like when the order was placed and when it was delivered. Or let's say joining date and today's date. You want to find out what is the length of the employee. कितने साल हो गए उसको organization में, तो we can use data type. Then
Sir,
sometimes
all these functions can be applied after importing the data into the Power BI.
yes. Once we import the data and when we upload
Okay.
apply these functions, it will do. For example, let me show you one function. So this is the data we have imported. Now let me take a new page and we want to write any function. We want to create any measure. Let's say we want to find out today's date. Okay. And we want to insert it in the dashboard so that whenever we open the dashboard, it will automatically show the date, current date and time. Okay. Now to get the current date and time, the function is this now. Okay. Returns the current date and time. Okay. Now how to apply this function? Or how to create a measure. So what we will do is when we have to apply any function, we will have to go to new measure. Okay, because we are creating a measure. We don't want to add a column because column will mean that in the table, whatever table we are working, we want a separate operation to be applied to each row. So when we want an operation to be applied to each row, then we have to create a new column. We don't want any
Okay.
operation to apply in each row, then we can go with a new measure. So it is there in the home tab also. When you go to insert also, you will get when you select any particular table, you will get this new measure option also, right? So when we click on new measure, it will create a new measure. Okay, now it will ask you to write a formula. And here what I want to do is I want to say today's date or current date. So I'm writing current date and is equal to, and I apply now. So this is a function. Now, when you write any function, it is just preceded by a opening bracket and a closing bracket and nothing you have to put inside that. So when I do that and I press enter, it will create a new measure called as date. Okay. Now you can see in the product table, we have a measure called as current date. Okay. Now let us check whether it is giving the current date or not. So I will put a card and in the card, I can select current date. And do you see the time and date both coming? Yes, everyone.
Wonderful.
And also we can get the current date and time. So now this is the now function. Now what happens to the time function? Convert hours, minutes, seconds into a time in a date format or today returns the suppose I don't want the time, but I want the date only. So what I will do, I will create one more measure for, so let me first rename this to date and time. So you can rename and in the this thing also, in the formula also, you can say current date underscore or and you can use and function also and time, current date and time. We, if you want, we can put T capital and T capital date. So it will, it has updated my name in the database also. Now we are getting the current date and time. And you will see the time will keep on changing. See, it was showing 4:27 earlier. Now it is showing 4:28. If 5 minutes later, it will show 4:32 also. Okay. So it is always good to have this if you are dealing with some data on a which gets updated like stock market or something like that. Now, let me create a function for date only. So again, we will do the same thing. We will select any, we will just click on new measure again. We are in the product table. So all the measure will come into product table. I will show you how all the measures that you have created can be put into a separate table also because you don't want to have disturb any data set. So we will put all the measures we create in a separate table. Okay. So
Everything.
now we will create a measure called as time. So current. date, sorry, current date I'm putting is equal to, and today is the function to be used. Okay, today. And when you start typing also, it will give you a list of function. Okay, list of function. And if you want to see what a function will do, so you just have to go to that function. Okay, just go to this. There is an arrow over here. If you click on this, it will show returns the current date in the date time format. So, and what is this UTC date? If we go to this function, returns the current date in a date time format in the coordinated universal time. Okay, so UTC is coordinated universal time. First, let us see the today function. So again, I'm writing today and enter. And now what we will do is we will
And
insert a card.
enter is with pressing the control.
Yes, it is better to press the control. If you press enter only, then that also it will work. That it will also work. Now it is showing the date, but it is not showing the time, but it is showing the time format also. Now we don't want the time format, just want the date only. We can go to format, and in the call out value, there will be option to turn off. Display units we have done.
It is showing both, sir, in formula, and they have showed us that it will show date and time also.
In the formula it is saying returns now today,
Uh,
returns the current date. Now returns the date and time. I have used today only, right?
yes.
So it should show the date. I have put today. Now, if I put time, if I put no now, see it is showing the time and date both. Okay. But if I
Yeah.
put today, it should get the current date time form. Acha, in date time format. Okay. Now, okay, so I'll let me show you one more thing. Okay. Now, suppose, yeah, here on the top, this is what I was looking for actually. So in the format option, you have the option to select, to look, to get only the time, date. So now do you see the date only? How did I do that? In the format. So it will show you the date, whatever format you select. Suppose I select this format, then it will give me the month name in full this thing characters. If I select this format where I want the name in short, the month name in short, I can just select the month or the year. If you don't want the date, you can have month and year, something like that. And I'll tell you a format function also. Okay. So let me just show you the date and the month. We don't want the year as such, so we can get this. Okay. Now, so for okay, so maybe I have not put this format function, but there is a format function also. Okay, I'll add this to the list. But what a format function will do, so I'll show you. So in the date, okay, we have put the date. Now let's select this format where the date and time both are coming. So here both are coming, right? Now if we put the day today in a format function, so she converts a value to text in the specified number format. So we select the format option, and in the today, we'll write the format. So in the format, I want DD, MM, YY, like that. Okay. And I close the bracket and see what it does now. Now, are we getting the date in the format which we have specified? That is the date, the day, and the month, and the number, year. And suppose I want the name of the month, I can write triple M, DD, MMM, YY. Now see what it does. Are you getting it?
Yes, sir. It is like wonderful.
Huh?
It is good, sir. Like. we
It is
can
good.
change.
Now we don't have to worry about the format, changing the format on this. And see, if we want the year in full, okay, 2025, then Y, we can put double Y, four times Y. So, and this works in Excel also. So format, and then today first will return the date, but I want the date in particular format. Okay. Now, if you write triple D, what will happen? So it will take a till the day also. Like today is Sunday, correct? So if we put DDDD dash DD and then see what we get. We get Sunday and this. And now if you put Sunday and we want a comma after that. So let us put a comma and we get this format. So it is like up to you what kind of experiment you want to do, and you will get to learn a lot of things. And suppose I want a space also, I can give a space and it will give me a space separated by space. Getting it? So day and time
So
format.
we can use the format function in other also formula
Yes,
to
yes, yes. Now someone had asked me,
yes.
okay, how can I get a rupee symbol? Suppose, yes. So suppose I want to get a rupee in this, okay? So what I can do is, now this is a total profit, okay? What we have done is we have find out a profit per unit, okay? And this is again a function. So I created a function for this profit per unit and this. Now what I can do is I can put this at the result of this function into format function. So I'll say format. Whatever is the result of this function, you format. And what format I want? I want to have a rupee. Okay, or maybe I want to have a dollar before that. Let's say dollar. And then I want to put like this 00 dash 00 and 000 in this format in lakhs. And let's say whether we get it or not. So are we getting it?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now if I put only 10, so we are getting in that particular format. I want to put 00, 00 and 00. Okay. Now let's say you want to have crores or millions written after this. You can type MN and it'll give you million also. Are you getting it?
Okay. So it will be automatically it will be detecting the type.
Exactly. Right. So someone wanted ki how can I win crores? So now this is not coming properly. But
The dollar is universal. That's why it is accepting, I
correct.
think.
Yeah, I also believe that. Dollar, and then you have to put zero also. Zero will actually get the number. Yes. So now, since I put dollar zero, okay, now if I put rupees zero, it will not accept that, I guess, because rupees is not defined to Power BI.
Yes.
Okay. Now, if I say INR and if I put this, so again, it is not giving me, correct?
Right.
So let us put dollar and 00 and we'll get like this. And if I put a comma, so it will give me this format. Okay.
Mhm. Sir, can we apply the format for the above table, or it will only
So
apply
it
in
is
the
done.
current
It is
formula?
already done. It has already done on this table. If you can see, like the profit per unit column is having the dollar format,
Okay.
but it is not coming in this sum of profit. Correct?
Okay. So it will not applicable for the table
It will not be happening. It will be applicable to the table if you have put a measure into a table.
linkage.
Huh. So
Yes,
you
sir.
have to
Got it.
put the measure into a table. Suppose sum of sales. Okay. Now we are taking sales here, right? But the sales is not formatted into a particular format. Correct? So if you go to the data table and if you go to sales, so let's go to sales column. So here the format is whole number, right? Now, if I say currency, okay, I think now this is going to work. Okay, now it is giving dollars. Can you see dollars coming, right?
Yes.
And the commas also coming, right? Now, if I want to change the dollar to any other currency, let's say Indian rupee, so that rupee should be inserted, should have the list should have this. I think it will have Indian rupees also. Let us see dollar INR. See all the currencies are there, pound and all these things. I think a rupee would also find a place here.
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, Konkani, India. So if you see now, see it has got Indian rupees now, and the format also had come. So someone had asked this question. I think if Sonakshi or someone had asked this question. I don't remember who had asked, but yes, this is the answer to the question which was asked previously in the class. Okay. So we can,
So
yes.
in the you have applied the rupees sign in the sum of sales, so it is not applicable for the sum of profit. Even if
So
we
what we need to
multiply
do is,
or deduct.
so what we need to do is we need to go to the profit. Okay. And in the profit also, I have to apply the same format. So in the format, I have to do currency, and in the currency, I have to do INR, or I have to select the rupee symbol from here. Okay. Now, see, once you have used, it will come on the recently used also. So you can just select from here. Okay. And now if you see the profit also, it will also have the same thing. Correct? But why it is here
Yeah.
it is negative. So it is taking the this thing into negative. The after this. So these two are the
Yeah.
negative profits actually, Australia and Germany. So in that case, it is giving the negative. So we actually, it is not properly defined, I guess, in this case. Okay, the negative values. So that also needs to be addressed. But yes, we are getting this amount. Okay, understood? Okay. So
Sir,
this, yeah.
sir, like yeah, in profit per unit, you have applied the format function. If I deducted total sales minus profit per unit, in which you have applied the dollar. So
Mhm.
suppose total sales don't have any sign, like rupees or dollar, and the
Mhm.
profit per unit has sign. And if you deducted
No,
it, so it
see,
will be automatically have
when
the
you
dollar
deduct,
sign or not?
no, no, no. When you deduct, it will take the number only. The format is just for applying it. Okay. So when you deduct and when you find out, let's say sales minus profit will just give us the cost. So when we insert that cost, it will come without any format. We have to specifically define the format for cost column also.
Okay, sir.
Okay, let me show you what you are saying. So let us create one more function. Let me create one more measure, which is which will just subtract the sales from profit, and let's call this cost. So again, I'm doing cost is equals to, now you do sales per unit minus profit per unit. Okay. So both of these are measures. Profit per unit. Okay, I'm not taking. Now we don't have the sales per unit column. Okay. So if we take if you try to do that, it will not happen. So let us first create the sales per unit column. So we'll do sales per unit is equals to then sum of sales. Okay, sum of the sales, sum of sales. Okay,
Divided by.
divide by total units.
Okay.
So divide by sum of units. Okay, so sum of, again you will select quantity. So in the sales table we will have a quantity also, quantity, yes. Okay. So that is going to give me sales per unit. So if you see, a measure would be created in the sales table. Now we are working in the sales table. So you will get one measure, sales per unit. Have we got that measure? Yeah. So now this sales per unit. Or it has come to the product table only. Okay. Now if you want to shift it to the sales table, suppose this sales per unit, I want to I want to submit, I want to convert this into a sales table, put it in the sales table. So when I click on any measure, measure tools open, okay, and it is showing the name, it's showing home table. So in the home table, you can switch it to the sales table, shift it to the sales table. So now you will see it in the sales table. So in the sales table, you will have sales per unit. Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to calculate the sales per unit minus cost per unit. So again, I will go to new measure and we will write cost per unit is equals to sales per unit. Now sales per unit is a measure minus profit per unit. Profit per unit is also a measure. So we need not write sum here. We do need not write the DAX function. We are just putting one measure minus another measure. And let's do this. So here we get in the product table again. Again, I want to shift it to the sales table. So in the CPU, I have cost per unit here. Now let me do what? Let me take a card. Okay. And let me put this value here. Now what do you see?
0, 0.
0, 0. Okay. Now, why we are getting a 0, 0 over here? Okay, sorry. I took this profit minus profit only. So it was a mistake. We will take sales per unit. So sales per unit minus profit per unit. Okay. And where is this profit per unit thing? Profit per unit is also in the sales table. Okay. Now it is showing minus 1 million. Can you see that?
Yes, sir.
And it is it is overall actually. It is overall. Now let me put a slicer. Okay, and if we put anything in the slicer, let's say the 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 product. Let us put the product over here. Okay, now we see product. Now, if you want to see the cost per unit per product, so if we select this, so it will show product wise. Okay, but it is not
Mm.
showing me in a particular format. It is not giving me
Yes.
rupee and all, right? So for that, now see, we have not created any column for cost per unit. It is a measure only, correct? It is not a
Yes.
column, it is a measure. Now, to
Mm.
get the measure into a particular format, what you need to do, you need to write the formula format. You have to apply the formula of format in the DEX function. So what we will do is, we will go to this cost per unit, double click on this, it will open this, and this we will put in a format. So we'll say format,
Yeah.
and the entire value we want to format into a particular format. Let's say dollar, I want to put dollar 0.00 and close it. So now it will be giving me a dollar and this,
Mm. Yes,
right?
sir. Yes. Got it, sir.
Got it? Yeah. So this is how it works actually.
Can we put this? So can you put this measure in the slicer?
Can yes, sir, why not? So if you want to put the measure into slicer, so what we will do, we'll remove the product and we can put the cost per unit in the slicer.
Well, because
So it is
there
taking,
will
sir.
not
It
be
is taking. No, it has put the employee key. Let me put the no, it cannot be used in a slicer because
uh,
the reason is it is the scalar value. Sir,
it's a
measure.
killer. It's a
So slice.
single value.
It is a single value. Yeah.
It's a
In
single value.
yeah, in a singular, it is
Yeah.
a singular value. In whenever you use any coding language, the singular value is called as a scalar value.
Scalar. It's a
Scalar. Yeah.
scale.
This word was also
It's
new to me when I was watching some video of Python and
uh,
I was reading some material. So there he was talking about scalar value, scalar, and I was confused. Ki, what is a scalar value? He did not explain that. The person did not explain. He was talking, he was teaching this coding, and he did not explain what is scalar. But then, and there is a what there is a startup also called as Scalar with the name Scalar, and they do coding only, like they do coding classes. So then I went to Google and I found out what is the meaning of scalar. Then I
Yeah.
understood that it is a single value.
A
So
single value.
yeah, it is a single value. That is what it is. But so whenever you are using slicer should have multiple values.
Yeah.
Then only you will be able
Okay.
to choose from there, right? So it will never come, the measure will never come into a slicer.
Size.
Yeah.
Sir,
But thank
if
you
you
for
put the
asking this
sales per
question because
unit
now,
column, we will get,
sorry, yes, Shreyas, you are
sir,
saying
if you
something?
put the sales per unit in column, we will get the in slicer also, right?
If we put the,
Uh, Sales per unit in column, the measure we have just, it is single value, right? We have not
uh,
put it in column.
correct. So then what you need to do is so that is the solution of what sir was asking. So suppose I want to create a cost per unit, the column is already there, right? So if we put this into slicer, then we will get, so that is possible. So in the sales table, you can select the cost per unit, which is already a column, this cost. So it will come as a slicer, sir. So basically, the use of measure is to get one single value.
One
That
single
is the
value.
use of measure, actually.
If we
And
have to use this single value
also
at
you
multiple
can.
times, you know.
Sorry, sir.
So if you have to use the single value multiple times, then we should create the measure.
Yes, should create a measure, correct. Suppose
uh,
sales you have to use multiple times. So you created
Multiple
one measure of total sales. Now, if you
total.
want to see country wise, if you want to see product wise, you have to
Uh,
just put that measure into the table. Okay.
okay.
And it will show, for example, let's say we have created cost per unit. Now,
Mm,
let me create a table. Okay. I have
mm,
created a table where I want to put the region. Let's say
mm,
country. I put the
mm.
country. Now I want to see the costs per unit per country. Okay, I'll go to the sales table and I can use this cost per unit table. So it is giving me. So anything which you don't have in your table already, okay, which you can use. Now I have the cost also. So if I just select the cost, it will also give me the same. Now it is not giving the same thing. Okay. So for Australia, the cost is coming in 147, 1267, 14 lakh 71,000. But if you select cost per unit, it'll give you per unit cost. So there is a difference.
What is the, can we add additional sheet at this stage? You see,
Sorry, sir.
can we add another sheet or another file at this stage
To this data set.
to this data set?
Yes, why not? So you can go to get data
Oh,
and so I'm doing.
acha, acha. Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
you
okay.
go to get data and select Excel. And suppose I want to
Acha,
add
acha,
one more
select this
file
at
to
this
this.
stage.
So any file which you want to add, which may or may not be related to this. Okay. Let's say I want to select this
Acha.
append file. Okay, which is not related to this, but I'll say append, open. Again, same process. So you can add multiple data set to the same.
Append. Acha.
Yes. No, that will be a separate table. It will not be related to this. If it is related, then you can connect it. Okay, but let's say I am putting this append one. Okay, it is some other data, but I am putting this and I'll say load.
Okay, okay,
So we already have a data structure, right? So it is applying
okay.
the changes. Now I'll show you in the data in the model view. So if you see in the model view, we already had a data set, right?
Hmm.
Which is this
Yeah,
salesperson region, salesperson, and
yeah,
now
yeah, yeah.
we have got one more table. Append one. Okay. But how it got connected, sir? It is not related to this data set, but it was having a date column. Okay. So if you see,
Okay.
it has got connected to the region, this table, and maybe there is something common. Okay. Now I don't know what is common. Okay. Now if you want to find out how it got connected, so see it is having a region also. This table is also having a region. Now let me show you this table which I have just got. Uh, so luckily, or like it is having a table append column. Yeah. So again, so this is having a region, correct? But the
Yeah.
Canada, West, and all these things. And I think one of the region is common in our data set and in this data set. So if you go to the R table where region is there, so
Mm.
region, okay, and you have Canada common.
Uh-huh.
So that is how it
Wow,
connected.
sir. ऑटो फॉर्मेट में इसने सेलेक्ट कर लिया।
राइट, हाँ, ऑटो में इसने कनेक्ट कर लिया। अब मान लीजिए आपको नहीं कनेक्ट करना है इसको, तो आप इस पे क्लिक करिए,
हाँ।
क्लिक ऑन दिस लाइन एंड यू से डिलीट,
हम्म,
तो इट विल डिलीट द रिलेशनशिप,
हम्म,
राइट दैट,
ठीक
बट ऑटोमेटिकली कर लेता है।
है, राइट।
और नाउ यू कैन सी द टाइम इज ऑल्सो चेंजिंग, द सो इट इज लाइक 440 44, ओके,
454।
454, सॉरी, या नाउ नाउ सम पीपल विल सजेस्ट, सर ये आपको लगा के रखना था क्योंकि आपको पता रहेगा क्या टाइम हो रहा है। सेशन में भी रंजीत सोच रहा होगा ये सर ने पहले क्यों नहीं बताया, हम सर को सजेस्ट कर देते कि सर ये लगा के रखते हैं। हाँ रंजीत। एनीवेज, सो नाउ कमिंग बैक टू द फंक्शन लिस्ट, है ना, जो जो काम के हैं वो थोड़ा सा बताता हूँ, एंड देन वी विल मूव टुमारो। देखिए, सो मैक्स मिन प्रोडक्ट, हाँ, लेट मी एक्सप्लेन द प्रोडक्ट ऑल्सो। सो let's say here we have in the data set sales column, sales में sales table पे आ गए हम लोग, and we have the quantity here, right, we have the unit price also, और इन दोनों को मल्टीप्लाई करके सेल्स आ रहा है। नाउ सपोज आई डिलीट दिस कॉलम, मैं ये कॉलम डिलीट कर देता हूँ एक बार के लिए। So now we don't have the sales column. Now if I delete the sales column, eventually what will happen? See, all these has become red, red, red. Do you see the red, this thing, exclamatory sign?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Can anyone tell me why we got an error? These are errors.
Yes.
क्यों आ गए ये error?
Because these because these
There is no
columns are
input
based
value.
upon the sales.
Correct. These columns were dependent on sales column, and the sales
These
column,
figure.
we deleted the sales column.
uh,
So if one column is dependent on another column, and if that column is not there, then that dependency will be.
Then
और ये एक्सेल में भी होता है, एक्सेल में एरर नहीं आता, वहां पे REF करके आता है, रेफरेंस।
reference.
हाँ, वो रेफरेंस एरर आता है, वो इसलिए आता है कि
Yes,
आपने
that
जिस कॉलम का, जिस सेल का रेफरेंस दिया था वो कॉलम भी आपने उड़ा दिया, तो अब वो सेल
hold on.
तो है, फॉर्मूला जो प्रॉफिट का लगा हुआ था उसमें सेल्स कॉलम का रेफरेंस लेगा और कॉलम ही नहीं है, तो इट
Column
उस
B.
कॉलम की जगह पे रेफ आ जाता है।
Reference.
हम्म।
ठीक है।
ठीक है, अब इसको इसको सॉर्ट आउट करने के लिए वी विल क्रिएट अ न्यू कॉलम, बट वी विल राइट अ मेजर फॉर दिस, अ फंक्शन फॉर दिस, अ डेक्स फॉर दिस, बट नॉट एज अ मेजर, बिकॉज वी वांट टू हैव अ, every row should have that sales value. So we will
Yeah.
create a new column. So we will create a new column, and that column name will be sales now because we don't have any sales column, is equals to, and now I'll write product,
Product.
the function product, and then what I want to do now, see we got this append also, ये था ही नहीं, but ठीक है, sales, और इस sales में से हम लेंगे quantity, and then I have to multiply. So I don't have to write the multiply, but I have to put a comma, and then sales के साथ में unit price. So I'll write unit price. Again, sales table and unit price. Close it, enter. Too many arguments to product function. The maximum count is, acha, we cannot take too many. So then how it will do? एक minute, एक minute. हाँ, initiative. Returns the product of a given column reference. एक minute. Column name. Column name is, let's say, sales quantity. Now, what it is doing, as far as I can understand, it is multiplying all the numbers into the amongst each other. ओके, नाउ लेट मी डू वन थिंग, मैं आपको बताता हूँ ये प्रोडक्ट कॉलम क्या है, ये प्रोडक्ट फंक्शन जो है कैसे काम कर रहा है. वी हैव टू सेलेक्ट प्रोडक्ट एक्स हियर. Returns the product of our expression values in our table. Now it will give you the right answer, I guess. So product was not giving product table and expression. So table is sales, comma expression will be the unit. Sales and quantity.
Hmm.
In same issue. Okay. Expression. The expression have to multiple columns. Multiple columns cannot be converted to a scalar values. Multiple column कहाँ है? It's the name of the column. Let's say cost price expression. Let's say
Hmm.
let me do it directly. That is the quantity multiply by unit price. So we got the sales directly without writing any DAX. डायरेक्टली हमारे को इससे मिल गया है ना. वी कुड गेट इट डायरेक्टली बाय राइटिंग दिस फंक्शन. Sales is equal to sales quantity into sales price. So sales is the table name, quantity is the column name. Then I multiplied by sales and the unit price. So we got the sales. Once I created this column, all the other the errors had gone now. Correct? But the product function did not work. That I will cover
तो
tomorrow.
ये प्रोडक्ट जो है वो काम नहीं करेगा सब वो
सर
जो
वो
पहले वाला.
करेगा, बट वो एक्चुअली क्या कर रहा है ना, प्रोडक्ट फंक्शन जो है इसका, वो जो कॉलम के अंदर वैल्यूज है उन सब का प्रोडक्ट
हम्म.
करके और एक ही कॉलम बना दे रहा है. मैं आपको बताता हूँ. लेट मी शो यू वन थिंग. एक हम पावर क्वेरी में जाते हैं एंड लेट मी क्रिएट अ कॉलम विच हैज ओनली वन वैल्यू. हम एक ही नंबर ले लेंगे, ऐड कॉलम करते हैं, एंड इन द ऐड कॉलम आई वांट टू क्रिएट अ कॉलम which has only a single value. X column तो इंडेक्स दिखेगा. Let us create a conditional column. और यहाँ पे मैं करता हूँ इसको न्यू कॉलम. और मैंने कहा सेल्स ऑर्डर नंबर, या I'll take one quantity column, quantity. If it is greater than equals to 1, then I want 1 as output, else 0. तो मुझे एक कॉलम में सिर्फ वन वैल्यू चाहिए. I just want a column with one value. So now it is giving me one value, number 1 as a result. ठीक है. I just want to show कि how the product column works. तो ये 1 1 1 1 result आ गया. ठीक है. Now I'll close this, close and apply. And now in this also you will get the new column. We have this new column. Okay. Now let me write a DAX function, a measure, and we will say product. इसका नाम हम product ही रख देते हैं. Product is equals to product function, and then I'll select this new call. And now let me create this. So now we got a measure. ठीक है. अब ये जो measure हमने बनाया ना product वाला, इसका आंसर 1 आएगा. So if I put this product measure, we should have got have one. We should have got. एक से इसका टाइप क्या हो गया? It is a number or not? समराइजेशन के ऑप्शन नहीं आ रहे. So product wala, I'll tell you tomorrow why it is not giving the answer. I'll just check and answer this tomorrow. Because in the new column we have 0 and 1. अच्छा, इसलिए 0 आ रहा है. Okay, okay, okay. Now let me remove this 0 for the time being and select only 1. I think it should not. अच्छा, quantity में 0 था क्या? Quantity तो 0 थी ही नहीं, तो फिर यहाँ पे 0 कैसे आ गया? Anyways. The new column should have got 1 only. The result as 1. Let me see this new column. Now let me remove the 0 from here and let me load only 1. Let me load this again. Now are you getting 1, sir? Now can you see 1 here, everyone? In the product.
Hmm.
We can see 1 here. Now why it is giving 1? Because in our table, in the new column, there is only one value, which is 1. So it is multiplying all the numbers and giving one number. So that is the use of product. Okay. And why it was giving infinite result? Okay, let me show one this thing. हम कोई एक कॉलम ले लेते हैं दूसरा. So let's say I have rating. Rating का product. Rating of product is equals to product. I will type product as a function. Open the bracket, and we will select one column from the sales, which is the name, not from the sales, but from the product. And let's say unit price. I'm selecting and close this. Now I've created a measure product rating product by taking the unit price as a measure. Now, if I introduce one card over here, okay, and let me put this value of rating infinity, because the numbers are infinite, so it is giving infinity as an answer. So product will basically multiply a value in a one particular column, and it will result it will get the uh, number of that answer. You're getting, sir? So we can use only product when we have single values or not many values. Like we can use the sales territory key for this, and it will give you the right answer. So again, I will go to product rating product, and let's use the sales territory key. So it will give the answer. Then there is something wrong in this, because it should have given me the answer. Okay, we'll check tomorrow what it is, why it is not giving the proper result. I'll show you tomorrow. Okay, so we will keep the session till here only for today. Okay, and tomorrow I'll be covering more DEX functions, and whatever I've shared today, go through it, try to apply the current date, time, and all these functions and the format also. And I will share one assignment today. You can complete in next 2 days, but start working on that also. Okay. So we will keep the
Okay.
session till here for the day.
Will it be shared in this Power BI group?
Yes, sir.